The Assembly will come back to order. I will now appoint a committee of two consisting of Assemblywoman Torres and Assemblyman MacArthur to invite the Senate to meet with the Assembly in joint session to hear a message from United States Senator Jacky Rosen. The committee will be about its business, and members and guests, we will be at ease until the Senate joins us. The members of the Senate are invited to chairs in the Assembly. Sounds good. The joint session will please come back to order. The Secretary of the Senate will call the Senate roll.
Senator Buck. Here. Senator Cannizzaro. Here. Senator Daley. Here. Senator Donyate. Here. Senator Dondera-Lupe. Here. Senator Flores. Present. Senator Goycochea. Senator Hammond. Here. Senator Hansen. Here. Senator Harris. Here. Senator Krasner. Here. Senator Lang. Here. Senator Neal. Here. Senator Wynn. Here. Senator Orenshaw. Here. Senator Pizzina. Senator Scheibel. Here. Senator Sievers-Gansert. Here. Senator Spearman. Here. Senator Stone. Here. Senator Titus. Here.
The Chief Clerk of the Assembly will call the Assembly roll.
Assemblywoman Anderson. Assemblywoman Backus. Assemblywoman Bilbray Axelrod. Here. Assemblywoman Brown-May. Assemblyman Carter.
Present.
Assemblywoman Cohen. Here. Assemblywoman Considine. Assemblyman DeLong.
Present.
Assemblywoman Dickman.
Here.
Assemblyman De Silva.
Here.
Assemblywoman Duran. Here. Assemblywoman Gallant. Here. Assemblywoman Gonzalez. Here. Assemblywoman Gorlow. Here. Assemblyman Gray.
Here.
Assemblyman Gurr.
Here.
Assemblyman Hathen.
Here.
Assemblywoman Hanson. Here. Assemblywoman Hardy. Here. Assemblyman Hibbets.
Here.
Assemblywoman Hadigi. Here. Assemblywoman Kasama. Here. Assemblyman Koenig.
Here.
Assemblywoman LaRue Hatch.
Here.
Assemblywoman Marzola.
Here.
Assemblyman MacArthur.
Here.
Assemblywoman Brittany Miller.
Here.
Assemblyman C.H. Miller.
Here.
Assemblywoman Monroe Moreno. Assemblywoman Mosca.
Here.
Assemblywoman Newby.
Here.
Assemblyman Wynn.
Here.
Assemblyman O'Neill. Assemblyman Ortlicker.
Here.
Assemblywoman Peters. Assemblywoman Summers Armstrong. Assemblywoman Taylor. Assemblywoman Thomas. Assemblywoman Torres. Assemblyman Watts. Assemblyman Urick. Speaker Yeager.
Here. I will now appoint a committee of two consisting of Senator Wynn and Assemblywoman Cohen to wait upon United States Senator Jacky Rosen and escort her into the Assembly chamber. The committee will be about its business.
Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Jacky Rosen, U.S. Senator for the state of Nevada, is at the bar of the Assembly.
The appointed committee will escort Senator Rosen to the Chief Clerk's rostrum. Everyone, please rise.
Thank you. Well, hello, everyone. It is well, it's cold, but it's good to be here, and it's good to see all of you, and it is good to always be home in Nevada with friends and family and neighbors and everyone who cares so much about our state. And I want to start by thanking Majority Leader Cannizzaro and Speaker Yeager for the opportunity to address all of you in the Nevada Legislature today. And I want to thank everyone who's in attendance. Governor Lombardo, thank you so much for being here. Lieutenant Governor Anthony, I see you behind me, thank you. Minority Leaders Severs, Gansert, and O'Neill, thank you. Members of the legislature, all of our constitutional officers, I see you here. Justices of the Nevada Supreme Court, thank you. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank the amazing staff who serve Nevadans day in and day out working here at the legislature. Thank you for all that you do. And you know, for the last 6 years, it has truly been my honor to represent our great state, and I'm grateful to be here in person to tell you about all the work I've been doing in Washington on behalf of all of us who call Nevada home. And since I last addressed the Nevada legislature, a lot has changed, starting with the voices in this room. We have the first female majority legislature, and we continue to make gains. And I'm so proud that we now have the largest majority of women legislators of any state nationwide. So we can applaud that. Oh, look, and I was going to say, we have the youngest Nevadan in the room even applauding that. He's applauding his mom over there. I saw, he wants to speak. He's got it going on. But session after session, our legislature's membership becomes more and more diverse and representative of our great state. And you know, we have incredible leaders, including Assemblywoman Danielle Monroe Moreno leading the Black Legislative Caucus. Let's see, where are you there? Oh, wait, I'm looking all around there. Oh, she's not here, okay. We have Senator Fabian Doñate leading the Latino Legislative Caucus. Thank you. We have Assemblywoman Erica Mosca leading the AAN-HPI caucus. And we have Senator Dallas Harris leading the LGBTQ+ caucus. All of you, each and every one of you, helping lead the way for a more inclusive Nevada. And we know when our state is opening, when we're welcome, we foster an environment where Nevadans are best able to live, work, raise a family. It's where economy can grow and thrive. So tonight, I'd like to take some time to give you an update on a couple of things. First, I want to share with you what we've accomplished in Congress over the past 2 years, which were some of the most productive ever. And so much of our work, my work, was bipartisan. And as a result, we've gotten real, meaningful, historic things done for Nevada. So we took action. We took action to jumpstart economic growth and prepare our workers for great jobs. I took a leading role in helping to write and pass the bipartisan infrastructure law. And as a result, we're now making a once-in-a-generation investment in our country. Thanks to our work, we're bringing millions of dollars to Nevada to rebuild, revamp, and expand our airports, our roads, our bridges, improve our broadband access, all while creating good-paying jobs. But as we create more jobs, we must make sure our workforce has the training needed to take advantage of these new opportunities. So I led a bipartisan initiative included in the CHIPS and Science Law. This initiative is to support workforce development for advanced manufacturing. These jobs are making sure, or this initiative, is going to make sure that workers have the skills that they need as we grow our domestic manufacturing industry. And this law, the CHIPS and Science Law, will also make historic investments in STEM education in our rural communities. This will make sure that we are training the workforce of the future in every single part of our state. And while we're on the subject of historic investments, I'm proud to report that we've made history by investing record amounts towards renewable energy thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act. You know, Nevada's home to more solar jobs per capita in the nation, and we're a national leader in geothermal energy as well. And so this law is now making critical investments in our state and across the country to support all those clean energy jobs, to lower our energy costs, and to combat climate change. And it provides $4 billion to tackle the extreme drought that we're facing here in the West. Historic investment. I'm very proud that we also took action to support our men and women in uniform. I had the great honor of helping to pass a bipartisan law that will provide benefits and health care access to all veterans who were exposed to toxins while serving our country, and unfortunately are now suffering from illness. I believe we must always protect those who protected us, so it was about time that we got that done. And you know, we took action to make communities safer. I don't have to tell any of you here how much gun violence has affected our communities in our state. And for the first time in more than 30 years, Congress took action in a bipartisan way to address the epidemic of gun violence and make historic investments in school safety and in mental health. Very proud of that. Yeah, mental health for our kids, it really matters. And we took action to help make health care more affordable and accessible for families. And through the Inflation Reduction Act, as I mentioned earlier, we're lowering those health care premiums through a key provision that I pushed to include. And this law also takes significant steps to reduce the outrageously high costs of prescription drugs. And after years of obstruction, Medicare can finally negotiate lower drug costs for our seniors. You know, we capped the cost of insulin for those at Medicare for just $35 a month. And as a result, private companies, private industry, are taking notice, and they're now lowering the cost for everyone else. So we made a difference. We broke through that critical barrier, and I'm ready to do even more to bring down those health care costs. And as we work to lower the costs, we must also take action to make care more accessible, especially when some Nevadans, particularly those in our rural areas, can't even see a doctor. That's why I introduced and passed my mobile health law. This law will make it easier for mobile health units to bring care directly into communities in need wherever they are up and down our state. That's going to keep people healthy. And we took action to support Nevada. One of the pieces of legislation that I'm most proud of is my comprehensive bipartisan travel and tourism legislative package. Signed into law at the end of last year, it creates for the first time ever a federal position focused solely on what's best for America's travel and tourism industry. This federal position is tasked with developing and implementing a national tourism strategy. And this is a major victory for a state like ours. Because I serve as chair of the subcommittee for tourism, trade, and export promotion. And so I'm going to work to see that the person who fills this role, that they understand the specific needs of our communities, for our urban communities, and for our rural communities, for our dark skies in the center of the state where you can see those great stars, and you can also see the stars going up and down the Las Vegas Strip. We got to protect it all, and I'm going to make sure that they understand that. And we know we have a few more exciting things coming. Formula One coming to Southern Nevada, and of course, the Super Bowl, and a little something. But I've also worked to bring resources and funding to help enact specific projects that our local governments and our communities actually need. And the federal funding that I worked on with Senator Cortez Masto over the past 2 years is going towards projects that support our local law enforcement, that increase affordable housing, that deliver clean drinking water, that make medical care more accessible, that invest in our workforce development, and so much more. And in all, more than 90% of the legislation I introduced last Congress was bipartisan. Thank you. And many of those bills signed into law. So despite only being in my first term, I've been ranked as one of the top 10 most bipartisan senators and one of the top 10 most effective Democrats in the Senate, getting things done by working across the aisle. And I'm proud of these ratings because it reflects, like I said, that I work across the aisle to find common sense bipartisan solutions that get things done for the people of Nevada. And as we work to implement these laws, I'll keep working in Washington to make sure that Nevada gets its fair share of funding so all of you here, all of you can put it to good use for our hardworking families, for their kids, for their parents, for our small business owners. It makes a difference. And last session was truly historic. We got a lot done, but significant work still remains. And that brings me to my second point. We're still facing so many challenges, and I promise I will spend every single day over the next 2 years working diligently for our state. I'm going to keep up the fight for working families because, number one, what do we have to do? We have to fight inflation. Middle-class families, they're feeling the squeeze at the gas pump, at the grocery store when paying their monthly rent. It's real, you know it, and I know it. We need to work on it. We must keep lowering costs, whether it's the cost of housing, health care, higher education. And we have to continue creating jobs and supporting our workers. And that means strengthening unions, their right to organize their workplace for better working conditions. And that's why I support the PRO Act. And for the next generation, our kids, they're our hope. They are our future. So we must support our schools and our educators, our students. That is the future of Nevada. And it's exciting when we do that. I look at former Governor Sandoval. I know you're doing that every day. But it means giving our teachers a raise. It means investing in our schools to make sure that the students and the educators, that they have the resources and the supplies they need to excite the kids, to teach them, to get them to learn and take on those challenges and opportunities that they're going to face when they grow up. That's our job. We need to invest in them like someone invested in us. And I know that Speaker Yeager and Majority Leader Canizaro have a funding bill that will accomplish just this. So thank you. And for the Nevadans who raised us, our parents, our grandparents, our seniors, we must keep our sacred promise to Nevada seniors by protecting Social Security and Medicare from harmful cuts. They worked hard. They earned their benefits. We need to take care of them. Another group we need to take care of is small business. So I'm going to keep up the fight for small business. And I'm a member of the Senate Committee for Small Business and Entrepreneurship. And one thing I'm working on is creating a centralized online hub, making it easier for small businesses to access the resources that they need to grow and thrive. Because I know that we help small businesses when they get the tools that they need to get up and running, when we help cut through some of that bureaucratic red tape, that we're investing in their success, and they're the job creators. And so I'm leading the efforts to open up federal loans and SBA resources to other businesses as well, like our state legal cannabis small businesses. They're big job creators in our state and in a growing number of states around the country. And I want to talk about safer communities, because I'm going to keep up the fight for safer communities with all of you, because rising crime, it is a concern for our families. And that's why I'm working to support local law enforcement across the state with the funding, the tools, the resources they need to keep our communities safe, including from dangerous drugs like fentanyl. We talked about that today. And I'm glad to see the bills like the one from Attorney General to help stop fentanyl trafficking. Thank you. It's very important. And we're going to keep fighting for more accessible health care like we spoke about, because we have to tackle Nevada's dire shortage of doctors and medical professionals. And so I introduced a package of bipartisan bills to incentivize doctors to complete their residencies here, stay here, practice in communities in our state that, well, we just desperately need them. And we need solutions at the state level too, such as the bipartisan bill introduced by all 4 leaders to help expand Nevada's healthcare pipeline. And on that note, we have to continue to improve health care for Nevada's veterans. It's why I successfully pushed President Biden to include a new veterans hospital in Reno as part of his latest budget. It's in there? Yeah. And I want you to know I'm not going to stop until this new hospital is done and it has opened its doors to Nevada veterans. And speaking of veterans, I'm also a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee. So I'm going to continue to support our service members in Nevada's defense installations. In fact, that's what we're working on right now, working to pass our next national defense package. Nevada's really critical to the country's safety and security, and I'm going to be sure that we have the resources we need to keep our country safe and our world safe. And I can tell you this, I'm going to keep up the fight to make sure that every single person in our state and in our nation is treated with dignity. We can never stop fighting for our rights. And I don't have to tell many of you here, but we have to keep working to pass comprehensive bipartisan immigration reform that treats people with respect, that gives dreamers a pathway to citizenship, that supports our state TPS recipients, and ensures our borders are secure and protected. We have a lot of other rights we have to fight for. We have to keep defending the rights of our LGBTQ plus Nevadans, which is why I'm going to continue to support and work to pass the Equality Act into law. Yeah. And last, but certainly not least, we must keep up the fight to restore and protect reproductive rights. The voters of Nevada care deeply about this, and they agree across party lines. Decisions about a woman's body belongs to that woman, not to politicians. That's why I strongly support Majority Leader Canizaro's efforts to make sure that we enshrine reproductive freedom in our state's Constitution. And I will always be a partner for reproductive freedom at the federal level. a strong economy, safe communities, opportunity and respect for all. These are bedrock values for Nevadans, for all of us, for everyone here. I know that. And by focusing on the issues that matter, I believe we can take action that makes a real, meaningful difference in people's lives. And all of us in this chamber, we have a distinct honor of serving this great state and the privilege of helping Nevadans every single day. And I do believe that we can find that common ground, that we can achieve great things together when we work together, when we talk to each other, Republicans and Democrats at the federal and state level, worrying about what makes Nevada's communities successful. That's where we will thrive, and that's where we will do good work. So tonight I commit to you that I will work with all of you, that we will work together to make sure that the next chapter of Nevada's story is a bright one. So thank you all for what you do every day. It's my honor to address you tonight. He's coming up. He's stealing the show.
Senator Flores.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the Senate and Assembly in joint session extend a vote of thanks to Senator Rosen for her timely, able, and constructive message.
Assemblyman Watts.
I second the motion.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. The appointed committee will escort Senator Rosen to the bar of the Assembly. Assemblyman Hafen.
Mr. Speaker, I move the joint session of the Senate and the Assembly be dissolved.
Senator Severs-Gansert.
I second the motion.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. I declare the joint session dissolved. The Assembly will come back to order. Assemblywoman Howdigy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the Assembly stand adjourned until Thursday, April 4th at the hour of 11:30 a.m.
Assemblywoman Howdigy has moved the Assembly stand adjourned until Thursday, April 4th, 2023 at the hour of 11:30 a.m. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Could you restate the motion? April 6th should be the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the Assembly stands adjourned until Thursday, April 6th, not 4th, at the hour of 11:30 a.m.
The motion is to adjourn until Thursday, April 6th at the hour of 11:30 a.m. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned.
Natural Resources and Commerce and Labor, please return to your committees. Natural Resources and Commerce and Labor, please return to your committees.